My chest had stopped aching, but my head was throbbing. I offered a sheepish grin, eager to put some distance between us. "I'm much better now. Thank you, Dr. Burns." Just then, Emilia wandered over and looped her arm through mine. Her gaze settled on Marcellus, completely unabashed. "Mackenzie, is this handsome guy a doctor?" Tsk. One look at Emilia's expression, and I knew it, she had pegged Marcellus as her next target. But for some reason, a strange, nagging resistance rose in my gut. I tried to soothe myself with the thought that it was just a sense of responsibility as his guardian. I simply couldn't bear to watch my own godson get seduced by a socialite like Emilia, though, considering Marcellus's face, it was hard to say who would be doing the seducing by the end of it. Seeing Emilia link her arm with mine, Marcellus finally gave her his full attention. As they locked eyes, Emilia seized the moment to introduce herself. "Emilia Elliot, Mackenzie's best friend." Marcellus gave a slight nod, but his introduction left me mortified. He shot me a look that was half smile, half taunt, and said smoothly, "Marcellus Burns, Mackenzie Burns's godson." How could he say that so casually? Didn't he have any shame? It was a rare sight to see Emilia lose her composure. She widened her eyes, whipped her head around to look at me, and gave my shoulder a firm shove with her soft, manicured hand. "Well, aren't you something, Mackenzie? Since when did you land such a top-tier godson?" I didn't answer. There was no way to explain our complex history in a sentence or two. But Emilia wasn't wrong. Marcellus was top-tier. He was wearing a grey designer trench coat. With his height, his long legs, and those broad shoulders tapering down to a narrow waist, he was a walking runway model. By any standard, he was absolute peak material. As I studied him, Emilia was secretly studying me. I expected her to move in on him, but she acted completely out of character. After a brief, polite greeting, she dragged me away. She didn't bother with the rest of the auto show or flirting with the models. She hauled me straight to a high-end cocktail lounge. Once we were in her car, I was still completely baffled. "Done with your eye candy?" Emilia chuckled. "They aren't eye candy, they're professional auto show models, for heaven's sake," she glanced over at me. "I'm taking you out for drinks, and while we're at it, I'm going to teach you how to bag him." I was even more confused. Bag who? We hit a red light. Emilia rested one hand on the steering wheel, turned toward me, and gave me a meaningful wink. "Obviously, your godson." She put heavy emphasis on those last 3 words. For no reason at all, I felt my face heat up. I ran a hand through my hair, gripping my neck to steady my nerves. Who said I wanted to bag him? Emilia had fox-like eyes that looked even more seductive behind her sophisticated makeup. When she squinted, she always had that worldly, seen-it-all look. She scanned me, eyebrows slightly arched. "The way you were looking at him earlier, you might as well have been undressing him right there on the floor." Was it that obvious? Feeling a sudden, prickly sense of guilt, I stared out the window, deciding against a rebuttal. I just offered a weak, quiet protest. His mom said, "He doesn't date women." I expected Emilia to sigh about what a waste it was, but she just gave a sharp, mocking laugh. "Trust me, the way he looks at you, there's definitely a spark." The light turned green. Emilia drove off and added one final point. What doesn't date women? If you ask me, that's just a line he feeds his family to get them off his back. If anyone else had said it, I might have argued, but Emilia, her family was constantly pressuring her to marry some private equity heir. When she refused and they pushed her into a corner, She lied and told them she was into women. Now, everyone in her family, even their poodle, knew that Emilia was into me. Putting it that way, I suppose it wasn't entirely impossible.